Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are going to be doing our loving kindness meditation this morning, and I'll just wait until people join so that we've got kind of a flow together. And if you're watching on the replay, just know that this loving kindness meditation is going to carry us through a few different stages of exploration of compassion and of grace. Good morning, Laura. Well, both Lauras, Laura, Laura and Laura. And I can see others are joining. So thank you so much for joining me and for kind of flowing with what happens in terms of when the meditations are offered. I am very much committed to sharing this every week. And I hope that everybody had a really lovely long weekend. If you're in Canada, I hope that you enjoyed your extended long weekend. Not that we aren't already having, extended breaks, but for me, I've really started to really honor the weekends. And it's new because frankly, I've owned a business for pretty much my entire adult life. And that means we don't take breaks at normal times, usually. But I realized that that was a limiting belief that was causing a lot of issues in my life. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Olive. I'm so glad that you're here. So, loving kindness practice is rooted in Buddhist tradition. It is also known as METTA. So, METTA meditation takes us through the stages of compassion. We always start with compassion for self, because when we can cultivate compassion and hold a sacred container of gentleness, of grace, of kindness for ourselves, we can then learn how to share that with others. Now, we move through different stages. So, first with self, then with somebody that we care for deeply, next with a neutral relationship, following that, a relationship that is conflicted. So, there's some emotional charge in there, there is some frustration or sadness or anger. And then we move into a state of compassion for all sentient beings. And we can even go beyond just kind of current time reality, and we can go into multidimensional. So all times and planes. This concept of cultivating compassion. So if it's unfamiliar to you to feel what compassion feels like, or to hold compassion for self, this practice will really teach you what it feels like. And it will teach you how to hold this space of compassion and this space of grace for yourself and for others. So I shared in a post yesterday how important this practice has been for me. And it really has been because, every time we're in relationship, so every relationship is between two people. And every time we're in relationship with someone, there's two different beings interacting. And it would be so boring if we were just the same, right? Like there's no point, there's no learning, there's no growth, there's no mirroring, there's no interest and excitement. But at the same time, it can create a lot of difficulty. We can be pushing up against each other, and sometimes it doesn't fit. Like sometimes there isn't the support or the impetus for like expansion and growth, and so it can actually cause more suppression or more harm or more conflict. And that's okay. Like that's a really natural part of every relationship. And so this practice I found has been really supportive for those relationships that are conflicted, those relationships where we hold grief or we hold anger or frustration or resentment. And honestly, we all have resentment to some degree. If you feel that you're a people pleaser, and I can definitely say that I'm a recovering people pleaser, it is more than likely that you often feel resentment in relationships. You feel like you give, and then maybe don't receive as much. Loving kindness shows you how to give first to self, and then how to hold the space for somebody else's experience, how to hold the space for their own unique expression of self. And then whatever happens in between. So, relationship is that space in between two people. So, we've got two sovereign beings here, and we've got relationship in the center. And so, loving kindness will show us how to hold this space in the center. And it's a really beautiful practice for that. So, I'll guide you through it. But I really wanted to kind of set the stage first so that you understand why we're doing it. And it's really important in times like now, where we're starting to emerge out of a very big transitional experience. And there is going to be a lot shifting, a lot moving, especially now that we're kind of coming out, because when we're in the deep space, that's the time of rest. That's the time of cultivation. And then as we come out, as we start to emerge out of that space of isolation, out of the space of more quiet and introspection, there is this newness. There's this growth edge that needs to be pushed against. And it can be done really gently, and it can be done with compassion and love. So it might mean enforcing boundaries. It might mean having difficult conversations. It might mean taking steps in different directions. There's so many ways that this might present itself in your life now. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to learn how to hold the space of compassion. And for me, the most beneficial part of this practice was learning how to hold the space of compassion for self, especially as first for self, because as a recovering people pleaser, I was so focused on other people. Like, I thought that if I could just help them have a positive experience, if I could, make sure that they like me, they make sure that they're okay, then I'll have a good experience after that. I'll be accepted. I'll be welcome. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we have completely separate responsibilities. We are sovereign beings. And so for somebody else to dictate whether or not I'm worthy, whether or not I am acceptable, is a recipe for disaster. And it's also a recipe for creating a life that is completely out of alignment with who you are, out of alignment with your integrity. So let's move through this practice together. And in the practice, I'll guide you through the different stages. When you are in the space of holding the relationships, the different relationships, first with self, next with somebody that you care for deeply, neutral relationship, a conflicted relationship, and then all sentient beings. So when you're holding the space for those relationships, just know that in that space that you've created, in that space you've cultivated, there isn't anything that you need to do. You don't need to give of yourself. So when we're giving compassion, when we're sharing compassion, it's not coming from us. We're actually just channeling it. It's moving through us. It's actually universal love that we're drawing on. So just know that you're not being depleted in any way. So let's get to the meditation. All right. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position, if that's comfortable for you, or laying down is okay as well. Just take a moment to arrive in your body, to arrive in this moment, to arrive in your mind, to arrive in the present. I always like to do a check-in when I'm starting meditation and just see where everything is at. Where is my mind? Where is my body? Where is my creativity? Where is my connection with divine? Where is everything? And then I start to reclaim, I start to bring everything back to this moment, to this place, to this time. And that's really what it means to be present. It's to bring everything into this same place at this same time. It's to keep focus on what is evolving moment to moment, being aware of, sinking back into the seat of the witness. We've heard of this concept before, this seat of the witness. It's really the observing mind, it's the observing state of who you are. So the observer can witness the thoughts, the observer can witness the body, the observer can witness all of the experiences going on outside of you. And so when we shift into this present state, when we reclaim everything, when we bring it back to present moment, we naturally shift into this state of the observer. And that's what it means to be aware. To look out the eyes of the observer, the witness. And in this loving kindness meditation today, we're going to be working with the concept of the inner smile. So as we begin to set up the practice, let's learn about this inner smile. The inner smile is a very gentle way of looking through the eyes of the observer with kindness, with grace, with acceptance. The inner smile is that smile of the observer. It's the smile of your awareness. There's no forcing here. There's no forcing the smile, as in forcing yourself to be happy, to be joyful, to be glad. But rather just a very gentle welcoming, a smile of welcoming. And so you can feel that smile shift perhaps from the observer to your mouth. Maybe you feel the edges, the corners of your lips begin to rise up ever so gently. Feel all of the muscles in your face relax at the same time. And feel the warmth of this smile of the observer now being represented on your face. And then allow this inner smile to drift up to your eyes. And very gently lift the corners, the edges of your eyes. And again, with soft muscles in the face. So there is no effort here. You're simply welcoming. Smile of welcoming, a smile of willingness to be with. Really feel into the facial muscles here. So feel into the release, the release, excuse me, the release of your facial muscles, release of any expression. And as you sink into softness here, the warmth of this kindness spreading through your entire face, through your entire head. We feel the inner smile move down into the heart space, down into the center of the chest. This place of heart wisdom. We draw this inner smile down into the heart, perhaps even sensing the corners of the heart lifting. Feel that warmth. Feel that welcoming enter your heart space. And start to link up with your breath. So inhaling this warmth into the center of your chest. You can imagine the soft color green or a light pink color filling your heart space, warming the center of your chest with this inner smile of welcoming. Now that we have established a very gentle looking, a very gentle welcoming, we now start to tap into loving kindness. We begin by offering a blessing to self. You can repeat this to yourself, either quietly in your mind or out loud. May I be well. May I be happy. May my heart be open and filled with loving kindness. And add any additional blessings here if you feel called to. Any other wishes that you have for self. And then continue to breathe into the heart space. So inhale that green or pink light energy into your heart, welcoming in loving kindness, grace, compassion into your heart space. And with every exhale, start to feel the loving kindness spread out in all directions from your heart to fill your energetic and physical body. And there's no effort here. This is a practice of intent, practice of witnessing, of welcoming. Really hold this gentleness for self in your heart space, remembering every inhale to fan the flames of that compassion, of that grace, of that acceptance of self, of where you are right here, right now, of all of the emotions you are feeling, of all of the memories that have been present for you, for all of the experiences you are moving through the grief, through the excitement, through the fears, the joys, everything. Welcoming it all in. Inhaling in compassion, exhaling to spread compassion, to spread kindness and joy, graciousness throughout your entire energetic and physical body. And now feeling that enlivening, feeling that softness, that acceptance that you've cultivated for self. We now move on to the next stage of the practice. In our mind's eye, I invite you to bring up the image of someone that you care for very deeply. Someone that you hold a lot of love for in this moment. So see them very clearly and offer them the same blessing. May you be well. May you be happy. May your heart be open and filled with loving kindness. Now inhale into your heart space to fill your heart with loving kindness even more than before. And as you exhale, witness this loving kindness, this grace, this acceptance effortlessly flow out to the person in your mind's eye, filling their entire form. So inhale to bring in loving kindness. Exhale for this loving kindness to be gifted, to be given to the other, to the person that you care for so deeply. Notice how this does not take away from your compassion for self, for the space that you are holding for yourself of acceptance, of kindness, of grace. Rather, we are drawing from universal energy, passing it through our heart space to both enliven ourselves and to offer this blessing to the person you care for. Keep breathing. Now we release the image of the person that you care for deeply and bring up the image of someone that you have a neutral relationship with. So, depending on if you've been going out, this might be somebody at the grocery store or the bank, or somebody that you work with that you don't necessarily have a close relationship with. Whoever comes to mind first. We offer the same blessing. May you be well. May you be happy. May your heart be open and filled with loving kindness. Breathe loving kindness into your heart space. Really feel that expanding. And as you exhale, gift this loving kindness to the person in your mind's eye. Offer the loving kindness that you have cultivated, that you have welcomed in. Allow this loving kindness to flow to and then through you. And witness as this loving kindness, this grace, this acceptance is gifted, flows naturally, effortlessly, and fills the entire form of the person in your mind's eye. Keep breathing. Keep breathing into your heart space to grow loving kindness and exhaling this loving kindness to the person that you are seeing. Now release the image of this person and bring up the image of somebody that you have a conflicted relationship with, somebody that you're struggling with right now. And this can be somebody that you love and care for, but in this moment you are experiencing pain, suffering, frustration, anger, sadness. So see them in your mind's eye and welcome in the conflict. Welcome in the struggle that exists between you. And trust that you can hold this, you can hold this person and this conflict in the safe container you've created. It does not need to be held within you, it is being held in the space of practice. And so we offer the same blessing. May you be well. May you be happy. May your heart be open and filled with loving kindness. Now inhale loving kindness into your heart space. Really fill your entire heart with loving kindness, with grace, with acceptance. Exhale as some of this loving kindness is effortlessly drifting out to the person in your mind's eye. Witness as it fills the entire form of this person and really encloses all of the feelings, all of the conflict, all of the struggle between you. Everything is being filled with the energy of loving kindness, of grace, of compassion. So continue to breathe in loving kindness into your heart space. And exhaling loving kindness towards this person and towards the conflict. Keep breathing and keep practicing loving kindness. Good. And now releasing the image of this person. We are now going to offer a blessing to all sentient beings in all dimensions, times, and planes. The blessing we offer is, may all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings have open hearts, filled with loving kindness. Inhale to fill your heart space with loving kindness. And exhale as this loving kindness is gifted out in all directions from you. Inhale loving kindness into your heart. Exhaling to witness the loving kindness effortlessly drifting away from you, touching all beings close and far, through all dimensions, times, and planes. All are receiving the blessing. All are held in this universal energy of compassion, of kindness, of love. And really sink into this feeling within self, knowing that you are at the center of this. You are at the center of your experience of compassion. You are at the center of witnessing compassion, of grace, of loving kindness for all sentient beings. Breathe into this. Feel the warmth, feel the grace. And you can release the imagery and draw your awareness back to your heart space. You can even bring your hands up here if you'd like, either in prayer or one over the other. We're going to feel into a moment of gratitude for appreciation of being in practice together, of showing up to practice, to doing this important work, of learning how to hold compassion. How to hold compassion for self, for those that you care for those that you come into contact with, for those that you struggle with, and for all sentient beings. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Om Mani Padme Om. Thank you for being in practice. Sorry for my throat closing up. If I think most of you have probably practiced this before, but if you haven't practiced this before and you feel like there's some work in there for you that could really support your meditation practice, I would suggest doing a loving kindness practice every day for a little while, even if it's a week or two. But you'll find that it will actually expand this feeling of compassion every day that you do it. And you'll start to be able to better hold the compassion for others and for conflicted situations. I've really found a lot of benefit in relationships. And I spoke very honestly yesterday about, in particular, a marriage ending. And it was really important to me that I held a compassionate space for that relationship, because we're still in relationship. Relationships don't actually end in that way when we're still connected. We've got kids together, and I care so deeply for this man that I have a history with. And loving kindness really helped me to effectively transition the relationship, and also helps me to deal with any residual grief and frustration and anger that naturally arises. So yeah, I invite that in, especially during this time where we're coming out of transition. We're going to be transitioning a lot of relationships right now. We're going to be questioning, what sticks and what doesn't, what's time to let go of. And this was the inquiry that I presented last week was, what are we letting go of right now? And then what are we welcoming in? And this practice of loving kindness really will help you to effectively move through that transition. Paula says that she tends to little for the tough relationship. Yeah, and then seem to loosen up by the end. Yeah, it's a practice. It's hard to hold these relationships that are so can be so triggering, especially if there's like a history of trauma associated with them, and like years. Sometimes it's years of patterning or codependence or abuse. Like there's a lot that can happen in a relationship, both good and not so great, not so feeling good. Yeah, thank you so much for practicing with me today. What a gift. What a gift to practice together. And so I'm on retreat for most of this week, but I'll still be checking in. I've got some really great ideas of how we can cultivate both engagement of community and then also to help support you on your meditation journey and your journey of introspection and inner looking. So I'll share more about that this week, even though I'm on retreat. So you'll probably get to see a lot of pictures of me in the mountains. So I'm excited. Have such a beautiful day, and we'll see you very soon.